What's up guys, this is Scoopman 5000 and today we're back for another action figure review. We're back on some WWE Elite action, and today we're kicking off Elite Series 79 with Bobby Fish and the first time ever Io Shirai. And I say we're kicking it off because I'm going to be reviewing the whole wave. I'm going to start with these two, and then tomorrow I'm going to have the New Day out, and then the day after that you can expect Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan from this wave. But for right now I decided to pair the two NXT wrestlers together, so we do get Bobby Fish to flesh out our Undisputed Era collection. And then for the first time ever, we get Io Shirai, which is very exciting. And already just looking at the online images of Io Shirai and now having her in the box like this, definitely one of Mattel's best efforts this year. And you know, it seems like NXT, they always get the best figures, the most attention to detail. And for someone like Io Shirai, you know, that's great because she is the first time in the line, and you already got a banger figure to start out with. But these come in our 2020 standard Elite packaging. You're going to notice it has Elite 79 up top. Otherwise, it's all the same uniform design. You get the character's name on the bottom, and because it's her first ever figure, you're getting the first time in the line for Io Shirai. On the right side, you get some in-ring shots of the two, and on the other, we get some renders. And then on the back, you get the renders, you get the stats, you get the other characters in the wave, and then you get the read-ups. So for Bobby Fish, representing the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are the most formidable tag team in NXT, and that's undisputed. And then for Io Shirai, there have been many gravity-defying high flyers, but the Joshi Judas is the one and only genius of the sky. And if you're someone who buys Elites, you're used to all this nonsense. Like I said, I'm going to be looking at the New Day tomorrow, Big E and Xavier Woods, and the day after that, going to be looking at Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. And then here's some barcodes on the bottom, and that about covers base for packaging. So let's get to it. We're going to start with Bobby Fish, and we're going to finish out with Io Shirai. And here's Bobby Fish out of the packaging, and to start out we'll go over accessories. And starting out with the interchangeable hands, we get the really awesome, unique hands for these guys, for the Undisputed Era. So we got the UE. And it's actually pretty hard to do the pose with the figure, but we'll go over that in a bit. We also get two thumb-pointing hands, and then on the figure obviously is the gripping hands on them. We get a rubber Undisputed Era tank top, and it's got Shock the System on the back. I always do prefer the cloth goods on these, but I think that's a bit more expensive to produce, so this isn't bad. And then finally we get the NXT Tag Team Championship. This is my first time with this NXT Tag Team title, and it's a good belt, and unlike the SmackDown title belt in the same series, this one actually does have the metallic deco, and it doesn't look cheap. So again, a really good design on this one. Nice silver plating for the NXT and WWE logos, and then some gold all around. And then a good enough strap on this one as well. And then here we got Bobby Fish, and I gotta say, in no way is this a bad figure, but I think I do prefer the original Bobby Fish. We'll go ahead and bring him in for comparison. And you can see a lot of the design elements are the same, obviously the boots, the kick pads, it's all similar gear and everything like that. But I do definitely prefer this Bobby Fish head sculpt. And then of course, it's got the cloth goods shirt, which is always gonna win me over. But going into our new Bobby Fish head sculpt, and it's supposed to represent the mouth guard here, but it kind of doesn't come across well. I think it just kind of makes it look like he's got some fucked up teeth or something like that. So it's not my favorite. And again, bringing back the original Bobby Fish, I think this captured him a lot better than this one does. Also, for whatever reason, I feel like his lips look a little pink and kind of awkward. And again, that combined with the mouth guard, it just doesn't look great over here. His body is a very standard Elite torso that we get all the time. And the same can be said for the arms. He's got the Undisputed band, and that's printed on, decoed on here. It's not like you really need the removable armband, but it just would be a nice plus. But other than that, you got the white wrist tape, longer on one side with the finger tape, and then this one has the full hand wrap. And then on the back here, you get a good look at Bobby Fish's shoulder tattoo. The trunks on this guy are definitely a step up from his previous figure. Now, this guy does have a chase variant, and I think that one is done in black, but I think this one's actually better. I'm glad I got the regular version because this one's going to stand out on a shelf. It's got this Arctic camo look to it. You get the yellow waistband and then the fish logo in the front here. And then on the back, you get the Undisputed Era infamous logo here, and it kind of has this crazy looking design going. You get a black stripe on the side and then some black on the bottom of the legs here. So that looks very good. Unfortunately, due to all this detail, I did get a little bit of paint slop. I got some silver and then some dark gray on the thigh here, but it's not that bad. And then he's got the taped up knees, and I always like that look above the knee pads, so those are done with some white paint on the legs. And these knee pads and the kick pads are awesome. So we got Undisputed Era on the right knee, and it's all done in that Arctic camo, like I said. Going on to the back, you get some black and yellow designs here. You get the zipper printed on the back, and then the RIP and the plus sign. That is obviously a staple of Bobby Fish's boots. Going over articulation, it's what we're used to with Mattel Elites. So the head's on that ball joint. It's going to get the movement you need it to. It's going to go back. Not really that much. Forward, not that much either. Torso is on an ab crunch. You get the swivel and the hinge on the shoulder, upper bicep cut, single jointed 90-degree elbow, and then you're getting a wrist rotation and a hinge. The waist is going to rotate. You're going to get some impressive ball joint splits. You're getting a double jointed knee on the figure. You're getting an upper boot cut and an upper thigh cut as well. And then the foot is on a hinge that is tight, and there's a slight ankle rocker. And that covers Bobby Fish, so now let's go ahead and do some comparisons. So here's our basic Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Here's our Elite Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And then here's the previous Undisputed Era 3-pack figures. We get the Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. And then here's Bobby Fish all accessorized, and it's such a tease when you give us these awesome hands. And the figure is so close, but it cannot hold the pose to do the UE hands. So we're kind of stuck with him in a shitty position for those hands. But overall, once you do get them all accessorized, it's a worthwhile update. Despite the previous Bobby Fish being a near perfect figure, I think if you're someone into NXT, and especially with the Roddy Strong, the Adam Cole, the Kyle O'Reilly, the updated Elites, you're going to want to pick up this guy to go with those. And with that out of the way, let's get to our main attraction and look at Io Shirai. And then that brings us to Io Shirai, and this really is a unreal, holy shit figure from Mattel, and that's with its reasons. If you're a fan of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, you know that Bill McKenna, who's the designer of these figures, he's got a huge soft spot for the Joshi wrestlers, for the Japanese women, and for NXT in general. So that's why the Kairi Sane Elite kicks all kinds of ass. That's why the many Asuka Elites have tons of detail and kick ass on their own. And then kind of completing that trinity of Bill McKenna's favorites here is Io Shirai. And so the only accessories we're getting outside of that awesome entrance jacket is going to be some alternate hands. So we got some gripping hands. And then the ones that are on the figure, it kind of looks like some slightly more open gripping hands is kind of to hold the jacket, I would imagine. But let's go right on into it. Let's look at this entrance jacket. And so this is a very shiny fake leather material. And we've had jackets like this. I have the Becky Lynch on hand, and you can see that that one looks more like normal leather. This one has a, I don't know what to call it, but the name of it's escaping me, but it's a different kind of material on this one. But what a bang up job here. Some beautiful clean printing on here, all the Japanese, all the line work, especially on the back there. How clean does that look? There's no pixelization, there's no off printing. This is some high quality stuff from Mattel. And that's the reason we're getting tag team championships that look like shit, because look at this thing. This thing probably cost Mattel a fortune, so we can't make the rest of the belts look good for the main roster, but hey, it was worth it because, again, look at this thing. And then, unlike anything I've ever seen on a Mattel, we get this whole feathered plush look. I even got some of the packaging still in there. Ooh, just like that. But yeah, that awesome entrance jacket, that Io Shirai. I always think about the entrance she did with Poppy at that one NXT event. That was awesome. And honestly, the whole heel Io Shirai, her whole gimmick, her whole entrance, everything like that, really is just a badass character for NXT. And now, I honestly, Mattel, you could retire. You could never make an Io Shirai again. I think this will do. But let's go and try and get the jacket off. I think that should be easy enough. And then that leaves us with an Io Shirai that's ready to fight. And imagine if every Mattel wrestling figure looked like this. This is like a shrunken down Io Shirai for your collection, basically. So we'll go on to it and get to the head sculpt. Now, obviously, the original shots of the character are going to look better than in person. That being said, this is still very impressive. Still perfectly captures Io Shirai. It's got a great facial expression, and even the hair looks good. The profile looks great. This is definitely Io Shirai, and especially you're going to put her at some sort of distance, and again, it looks like a shrunken down Io Shirai. Getting that out of the way, you can see she's got kind of the ring gear wrapping around the neck up top. And then the top here is a bit basic, the paint job on this figure, but it's accurate to Io Shirai. We get the nice silver up top. We get the green accents. We get the little window at the torso there. On the back, we get all sorts of details, so we see the back, all the lace and stuff like that. For the torso here, this is something... Even this, they could have easily just painted on that window for the abs there. But they went ahead and they sculpted, you know, the cloth detail. That's something you would not get on any other figure if it wasn't a Joshi NXT wrestler. The legs, they just look like painted on tights. They're not nearly as detailed. So these probably could be reused from maybe an Alexa Bliss or a Becky Lynch or something like that. But they look good. They do their job. They got all sorts of deco going down from the waist. You got some designs on the thigh here. And on the back, you get a nice green stripe. Don't want to forget the wrists. You get these nice wrist gauntlets sculpted on. And then the gloves are done in the silver textured look. And that's the same for the interchangeable hands. And then for the boots, these are definitely unique to Io Shirai. You get, again, kind of some lace, some little windows of skin there. To go over articulation, the head really is not going to move that much other than the swivel because of the hair sculpt. So it's not really moving back or forward all that differently. The torso is on that nice women's ball joint. The shoulder is on the hinge and the swivel. You get the upper bicep cut, single jointed elbow, and then the wrist is going to hinge and it's going to swivel. You get a nice splits with Io Shirai, but it would have been nice if you even got a full split because she is known to do that when she makes her entrance. You do get the upper thigh cut, the double jointed knee, the boot cut, and then the foot is on a hinge and an ankle rocker. And that's it for Io Shirai. So now let's get to it and do some comparisons. So here's basic Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Here is Elite Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And then for some women's wrestling comparisons, we get the Kairi Sane Elite, another badass, total bang-up job by Mattel. And then we get the man Becky Lynch. And what a shame with Kairi Sane going back to Japan, leaving WWE. She's a wrestler that definitely became one of my favorites with Asuka, and it would have been cool to see some more interactions with her and Io Shirai. But that being said, at least Kairi Sane got one of the best elites of last year. And overall, that's going to do it for your look at the Elite, Io Shirai and Bobby Fish. And with these NXT Elite figures, you can almost never go wrong. You got two fantastic figures by Mattel, and I have yet to open up the other figures, but these are probably the best two of the wave, just in terms of the amount of detail put into them and the accessories as well. I love the NXT tag team belt on Bobby Fish. And then Io Shirai, that entrance jacket is one of the most impressive things on a Mattel figure of all time. And honestly, if this wasn't Io Shirai, this effort would only go into something like a Comic-Con release or something like that. That being said, I want to know what you guys think of these figures. Let me know down in the comments. I recently made an Instagram, scoopman_5000, so you can check that out if you want to see some of the photography in the end of these videos. Be on the lookout for the New Day and the Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan reviews. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.